Whenever I hear a dog barking, I'm reminded of all the pets that I've had through the years. I used to have a little poodle named Donald. He was so small he looked like a fluffy baked potato. He weighed about 5 pounds. And every morning when he woke up, he would go into the living room and he would pee around the edge of the living room. He did that for 14 years. After 2 or 3 years, nobody could stand to go into that living room. Donald had marked his territory. And that was when I learned that if you want something and you treasure it and don't want anyone to take it from you, you have to pee on it. Pets can teach you an awful lot. Donald lived in a basket with a little Shih Tzu named Dorothy, who did a lot of Shih Tzuing. She really did. And every morning, after Donald did his bit around the living room, he would hump Dorothy, and Dorothy would go right to sleep. And that was when I learned that you can stand anything, ladies, if you dream a little dream. But that's not all that my pets taught me. Donald got a thistle in his eye, and Donald hated the vet. He never forgave the vet for neutering him, and he hated the vet. And I had to take him to the vet because he had the thistle in his eye, and Donald walked into the vet's. We took him into the vet's office, and he sat in the examining room, and he was growling, he was going, and you could almost hear him say, "I'm going to kill that vet. I'm going to get that vet. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him." And the vet walked in, and the vet was a big bruiser. He looked like he was the kind of man that worked out every single day. Great big muscles, great big bruiser of a man. And he walked in, and Donald was going, "I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him." And the vet said, "I think I better get him a muzzle." I said, no, the dog isn't Muslim, the dog is Jewish. He said, "Yeah, but he's going to bite me." I said, "Well, if you bring him a muzzle," I said, "the muzzle's going to be as big as the dog. Why don't you let me hold his mouth shut, and then you can give him a tranquilizer?" And the vet said, "All right." And his assistant came in with the tranquilizer, and Donald's going, and I'm holding his mouth shut. And as the vet came toward Donald with the hypodermic, Donald shot a load of shit all over the examining room. It hit the vet on the shoulder and on the head. It hit the attendant in the chest. It was all over the examining table. It was all over the windows. And that was when I learned that there's more than one way to win a war. I don't know. I also had schnauzers. I didn't just have poodles. I had schnauzers. And, of course, I have a schnauzer now, but I'm talking about dogs. And I had a schnauzer. I had Stephanie, Esther, and then I got Harold. They gave me Harold when he was 3 months old. He was an adorable little puppy. He was absolutely adorable. And the woman handed me this little puppy, and she said, "It's like handing you a newborn baby." And Harold went, and he did not stop that sound for the next 3 years. When he ate, he would go, and when he slept, it would be a little quieter, but never shut up. Continual noise for 3 years, and I couldn't stand it. I didn't know what to do, because I was living at that time in California, and I thought, well, I can't kill him. You can't kill a dog in California. You can kill people, but you can't kill a dog. Not in the United States. You can't kill a dog. You can only kill people. So I thought, because the SPCA is going to be after you. So I thought, what am I going to do? And I put an ad in the paper. And I thought, okay, I'll give him away. And it broke my heart. It really did. And I put an ad in the paper. It said, "Pedigreed Schnauzer, free to a good home." And this woman came up my front walk in pink polyester slacks. She was about 50. She was maybe 48, 49, 50. And she walked in the house, and Harold immediately began humping her leg. And I thought, I'm never going to get rid of this damn dog. I'm going to have to poison him. And this woman looked down at Harold, and she said, isn't that cute? And she took him home. Now flash ahead, maybe 10 years, and I get a call from someone I didn't know. She said, "Hello, this is Martha. Do you remember me?" I said, "No, I don't." She said, "I'm the one that adopted Harold." And I said, "Oh, how is he?" And there was this long, poignant silence. And then she said, "I'm coming over. I've got something to show you." And she came over to see me with a little wooden box with Harold in gold across the top. And that was when I learned it was his ashes. And that was when I learned that if you wait long enough, your wishes are going to come true. I had more than dogs. I also had hamsters. I don't know whether anyone knows about hamsters, but hamsters are little rats. That's what they are. But we had a hamster also, and the hamster's name was Lizzie. And we loved that hamster, but we were very insensitive to her needs. And Lizzie was extremely unhappy. And one night when we went to bed, Lizzie forced her way out of her cage, little rat. She forced her way out of her cage. She went behind the desk, and she quietly began to gnaw a hole in the wooden floor. We didn't even know she was missing, and she was gnawing and gnawing. It took her almost a week, and of course we thought she disappeared somewhere. We didn't know where she was, but she was behind the desk, and she was gnawing a little hole. When she finally got the hole big enough, she dropped through to the basement. Sadly, she landed in the trash barrel, so she couldn't get out. And the next day, my sister, who had the best ears in the family, was downstairs, and she heard, "Ooh, ooh, ooh," and she looked in the trash barrel. There was Lizzie. She picked up Lizzie, and she brushed all the dust and the junk off her, and she took her back upstairs and put her back in the cage that she had escaped. And the next day, Lizzie died. And that was when we learned that if you're industrious, I learned anyway, that if you're industrious and you work hard and you don't ask for any help and you go towards your dream and never give up, you're gonna die. We also had rabbits. I don't know whether you know anything about rabbits, but rabbits, they do a lot of dumping. And I was teaching the second grade, and I believe that 7-year-olds, and I believe that I should teach the children that we are one with the animals. So I got ourselves a bunny for the classroom. A bunny. What I didn't know was that when you let the bunny out, which I did all the time because the children loved to play with the bunny was dropping little pellets all over the place. So I assigned one child. His name was Kenny. And at this point, he would be about 67 years old. That's how long it was. But he was a love of a little boy. And I gave him a dustpan and a whisk broom. And I said, "Okay, Kenny, for the remainder of this year, you are going to follow that rabbit, and you're going to sweep up his droppings." And Kenny took his job really seriously. Wherever the rabbit went, Kenny went. When the rabbit jumped on my desk, Kenny was there, sweeping. When the rabbit jumped on the chalkboard, Kenny was there, sweeping. When the rabbit jumped on the bookcase, Kenny was there, sweeping. He never stopped. He did a beautiful job, and we had nothing to clean up in the classroom thanks to Kenny. Flash ahead. He was 7 then, so 15 years. And Kenny won the gold medal for the Olympic high jump. And that was when I learned that if you want to be famous and you want to get your name in lights and you want everyone to know who you are, you have to deal with a lot of shit. Those are the things that I think of every time I hear a dog bark. And thank you. I've been Lynn Ruth Miller.
Lynn Root Miller passed away on the 7th of September 2021, aged 87. Before her passing, Lynn was planning on getting yet another pet, travelling, drinking some wine, and working on a new comedy special entitled Not Dead Yet. She will be very much missed.